Welcome back to class, Learning Lab number 3. I am your professor, Nia Abernathy, here at the Dignity Ambassador Academy, and I am so glad that you are here. Now, before we dive in, we have got to lay our foundation like we do every time of our working definition of dignity, and that is the intrinsic worth and value each being carries that cannot be taken away. You've got it, I've got it, your friends and loved ones have it, strangers have it, the more than human world, birds, plants, trees, water, all have it. And you're here because you're curious about what kind of world we could build when we start with this foundation of dignity. And we're going to dive into that. So I hope you can. I hope that plane is very loud to me. I hope it's not loud to you. So Learning Lab 3 is all about dignity and adult social emotional learning. So on this first class, we're gonna root down into what those things mean. You already know that dignity is the intrinsic worth and value each being carries that cannot be taken away. So what is adult social emotional learning, or ASEL for short? So first, I'm going to read, because it's very comprehensive. I'm going to read the definition of SEL given by ASEL, and ASEL is the Collaborative for Academic and Social Emotional Learning, and they are really the forerunners of SEL education as a whole, and they focus in on K through 12. But what they realize is if we're asking adults to teach kids about social emotional learning, then we need to also teach the adults. That's where I come in, as I'm here to help adults develop their social emotional well-being. So the SEL definition that you can find on casel.org is this: the process through which we acquire and apply the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to develop healthy identities, manage emotions, and achieve personal and collective goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain supportive relationships, and make responsible and caring decisions. Now, if you've been with me in the last 2 learning labs, this is going to sound a little familiar. Like, the texture of what they're saying is the same thing that we've been talking about here too. And so it is from the foundation of dignity that we enter into this process of SEL as adults, and imagine and pursue and practice healthy, supportive, and reciprocal ways of being that lead to the flourishing of all life. It's from here that we engage adult social emotional learning. So these are going to be our foundational things that we're getting into throughout this learning lab, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from you, to getting into some of those practices. There's going to be a lot of callbacks, right? So you can definitely start here as your first learning lab, but if you've gone through the learning lab 1 and 2, you're going to find us calling back to some of the things that we've already talked about and practiced, and really integrating it into what SEL is and how we can engage it and learn more about it. All right, I will see you in the next class.